Coach, the guys knew what they had to do, and they did it.
Yeah, that's as good a way as you could put it. All week long, there wasn't any question on what needed to be done tonight, and what was going to happen. A great football game, and that's what everybody got to see tonight. And fortunately, we ended up on a 14-9 win of that.
Alex threw 3 interceptions there in that first half, but it was an interception on your guys' defense by Mr. Schrader, who completely turned the momentum of the game around at that point.
Yeah, that was a huge swing. And I was joking with Brian this week. He's done a great job at safety, but he just hasn't had the ball kind of float his way, and he doesn't have an interception yet this year. And I kind of joked and said, Brian, you got to be the only receiver or only safety that doesn't have a pick that started a whole season. Now, it's about time to get one. And he got a couple off of me in practice this week, so I felt good about the way he was playing, and boy, did he make a nice play. And for us to then take that momentum, punch the ball in the end zone, was just a huge momentum swing.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, all game, I mean, those 3 turnovers in the first half accumulated just 3 points. Second half, they had their 180-yard drive, and then a little bit of fury there at the end, with guns blazing. But outside of that, the defense played real well.
Yeah, and I remember a few years ago back here, they beat us 14-7, I think 3 years ago, and they kind of chipped away down the field to score at the end to beat us. And I was reliving that in my mind as that was going down as they were moving down the field. But we had some kids come up with some really nice plays there down the stretch, and Ryan Hughes with a huge sack to end the game. So, our kids, when it was time to make plays, they stepped up and made some huge ones.
And Ryan made a couple nice plays earlier in the game, including on that 2-point conversion, blitzed him from the backside, and quarterback had no clue he was even behind him.
Boy, is he fast at a football field. I mean, that quarterback was scooting, and Ryan just ran him down, and that quarterback had no idea. But, Ryan is a true team player, and, we put him on the kickoff team this week because we wanted to maximize our kids on the kickoff team and put our very best kids out there. He made probably what I would consider a touchdown-saving tackle. They had a huge seam down our sidelines, and Ryan just knifed in there and made a play. He was just all over the football, but that's what he's done. He's had more tackles than anybody in a regular season in the history of Monroe. So, he's just having an absolutely outstanding season, and he's just a great football player.
And the offensive line there in that second half, they really woke up, and for 2 drives, it seemed like they could move the ball as far down the field as they really wanted.
Yeah, and we really had our way with them for a while there in the second half. But Stoughton hunkered down, and it doesn't surprise me because they got good football players. So when they started stopping us a little bit, with Alex throwing a couple interceptions in the first half, we were a little hesitant to put the ball back up in the air and give them a momentum swing. So, we would take our 3 and out if we had to, or have to punt the ball if we had to. But we rode those offensive linemen, and they put a score down, drove the length of the field, and 5 seniors, they're getting the job done.
That final minute 57 from you guys letting up those yards and then stopping them and to downing it, just what were the emotions rolling through in that whole drive? You kind of mentioned you were having thoughts from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that was going through my mind, and I knew what had happened a few years ago, and I just but I have a lot of faith and confidence in our kids, and when it like I said, when it came time to make a play, we had kids step up and make plays, and that's just it's a testament to what these kids have been through, and I look forward to hopefully taking these guys at the next level.
You've been here for quite a few years now, and you finally get the Gatorade dumped on you, and it's never fun when it's cold, but it's fun when it's a very meaningful victory.
No, I'm shivering right now, but I got my first Gatorade bath over the summertime in the All-Star game when we won. My dad is a head coach, and I was his offensive coordinator, and we won that game and played a great football game, and I got a Gatorade bath after that. Not sure why, but I got one. That was my first, but this one is my first real meaningful one, and I'm just glad that it comes at the 4-4 playoff qualifying record and give these kids a chance to play again.
You grew up watching and playing with your dad, who had such a great career as a coach, led a lot of teams to a lot of playoffs, and you come here to Monroe, which followed that same kind of tradition.
Yep.
And then for whatever reason, there's that 8-year lull where the postseason was just unachievable, and now it's been achieved. Just how great and humble of a feeling is that for you as a coach?
Well, it's excellent, and it's all that more special that I get to share it with these kids that I've worked with for 4 years. I get to share it with my father, and there's no question. You can ask anybody, because I'm a biased kid, but there's question, he came in and made us a lot better. And you know, his coaching expertise is, you know, just outstanding. Something you take for granted. So, you know, it was a team effort from top to bottom and everywhere in between. You know, head coach, assistant coaches, starters, reserves, scout team kids, people in the stands. I mean, that's what winning a football game is all about, and it's special that we got to do it together.
Two events going on here in the next couple of hours. You got the midnight showing of where the WISA says who's in and who's not,
Yep.
and then in the morning they'll say who's in and who plays who.
Right.
So you guys having any overnight parties, any sleepovers?
All I know is I'm going to be up, and I assume my dad's going to do it with me. They planned on staying over. He makes a drive back to Waterloo every day, but my parents are going to stay over, and we're going to stay up and just work online and find out, you know, if we're in and where we might go. And you know, we exchange films, so there's no use in trying to scramble to scout anybody or do any research on anybody yet. But you know, I want that midnight field release to get over and see Monroe's name in the playoffs, because it would be a pretty big downer if weird things happen all across the state and we didn't get a chance to get in. But you know, I just want to see our name sitting there, whoever we play, and whatever the situation is after that, we'll take it. You know, we're just happy as heck to be here.
All right. Anything else, Coach?
That's good, man.